where I come from, I'm an overachiever, period.
Yeah.
Don't get it confused. Don't judge me on rap standards. Don't put me on rapper time, because you know my life ain't just a rapper life, and my history, my background ain't a rapper background. Mm-hmm. So you gotta judge me as a man.
People got choices, right? So you gonna look at what this group of people did and what the repercussions were, and what the feedback was from doing this, and you're gonna look at what this group of people did and look at the feedback. You wanna go to jail for life? You wanna get killed? Do what we was doing. You wanna get you some money, level up, create brands, build your team, get your family, get your homies on. Follow what we doing. It's your choice. You're entitled to whatever you wanna create, whatever experience you wanna create for yourself. But if you're tired of that, adjust the energy as best you can. Adjust what you wake up thinking and what you say. And then lastly, what you do. And that's not an easy thing to do, because it's such a pressure in these areas to just go by the way things are.
I just feel like whoever you surround yourself with, you around 10 broke niggas, you gonna be the 11th one. Mm-hmm. You around people that have high standards for themselves, or high integrity, got high standards for their friends, for their people. You know, that's gonna rub off, and you're gonna have that type of energy around you. So if you with somebody and they somebody that's high energy or a powerful person, you know, that's motivation for you to stay on top of your game. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, somebody probably gonna call you out.
The game gonna test you, it's ups and downs. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you know, you gotta be who you are at all times. You know what I mean? So, you know, just like a principle to live by. A young person from, you know, South Central LA that turned into what I turned into and what my team turned into, telling his story is very inspiring, and is the selling point. You know what I mean? Telling my story and being able to say, you know, I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. You know, I made my first $1 million legally on the books. You know what I mean? As somebody that dropped out of the 10th grade, stopped going to school at 14. You know what I mean? Been through all the institutions, the jail. My brother going back and forth to prison, being in street wars, just going through gang culture. You know what I mean? That's incredible that we right here in the back of the Maybach at the Waldorf Astoria. I'm really proud of the story.
I don't smoke weed no more. You feel me? I ain't on a anti-weed campaign. I'm just saying my personal preference, I want to be sober. You know what I mean? I've been high. You know, I don't like being drunk. I'd rather be sober and focused. Me personally, I judge things off of intention. We are human, we gonna make mistakes, but I gauge somebody's intention. What was you trying to say? You know what I'm saying? Right. And if the intention is clear, I give the execution a little wiggle room. I'm with the movement of equality, and everybody respect everybody as individuals. God is the creator and the judge. I'm not the judge. I think it's God, my personal opinion, that, you know, keep you protected through them situations while you learning what you really here for, and being able to speak from a place of experience, but on a platform and on, you know, from a place of success.
It's just about, you know, a mentality, in my opinion, just, you know, how to take your lumps in life, you know what I mean? Because you're gonna take your L's, you're gonna have your ups and downs. So just a philosophy or a point of view on how to look at the journey. You know what I mean? You got where you at, you got where you're trying to be. And then you got all this shit in between that's not gonna matter when you get here.
Nothing happens in a vacuum. You're gonna lay in the bed you make. You're not gonna get away with nothing in terms of the energy. But the energy is always gonna return to you. So when you just living in this cycle of being negative all day and just putting out negativity, and that's the only energy you putting out, it's gonna return to you in different form than you put it out in. So I would just say, you know, master your energy. Do your best to master your energy and what you put out.
Read that somewhere. It was just like, the highest human act is to inspire. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's like, why do I don't care really the business side of music outside of just being a hustler. When it comes to music I love, you know, I might pay attention and get informed about how the album performed, but it don't really influence how I feel about the music. So, you know, when I thought about what factor make me like the music, you know, what really is it? And I think it's like the music that inspires you. That's what you really, that's the stuff you play over and over again.
I always had a passion for music. I was always a creative person. I really wanted to do music first before I got into the streets. And I was frustrated because I ain't had no studios. There wasn't no infrastructure on the West Coast. And it was like, it was pressure from outside. you know what I mean? And after a while, I stopped resisting it. But I always wanted to do music. If you don't connect to a country, it's a devastating thing. And I ain't even understand that until I went. Because we know we not from America for real.
But some people might have never been to where they're from too.
That was
A
me.
lot of people, right?
That was me. I was raised under my mom understanding. And I don't mean her personally, I just mean her being a black American whose mom came from New Orleans, Louisiana, and a couple generations back, they was exposed to slavery, and you know what I'm saying? So to have an understanding of like, wait, it's a whole thousand year tradition that we connect to. And I'm fortunate because my dad was born over there, so I connect to it in one generation. So I met my grandmother, and I seen her way of living. This is my dad's mom. It's not 5 generations removed, so I connected to it easy, or easier maybe than somebody to do their ancestry and figure out where they from and then go visit it, but don't got nobody that really love them, that you could say, this is my immediate family. My dad is from Africa, but I was raised in South Central LA. And you know, I was turned cold. To be honest, I adapted to the culture. Naturally, that's not who I am, naturally. The culture of gangbanging in LA. That's not, none of us grow up as kids, we come from nurturing, but there's a lack of that in the coldness you get from going outside and having to survive. You get in survival mode. So this dude Maslow, he made a thing called the pyramid of human needs. So at the base of human needs is our physiological needs: food, clothing, shelter. We don't want to be wet, we don't want to be hot, we don't want to be cold. That's at the base of comfort, you know, just being able to be fed, you know, the basic survival. And there's other needs that come above that, but if you can't address these, the basic,
everything's off.
All that other shit don't count. And it's come to resources. You know what I'm saying? It's where you get a different person once you get past this first level. People receive me based on what I said. I came in and said, this is where I'm from and this is what I represent. But it was for a reason. I wanted to establish what I belong to, and I looked at it like jail. That's what I used to tell my homies, because even some of my homeboys would be like, bro, you can't come out talking about the hood specifically, you know what I mean? But I'm just like, you know, when you walk into a dorm, the first thing you establish is where you from. And then from there, you get into the person behind this, just in case whoever got a problem with this, wherever your enemies is, you go to the back, you handle your business, and then you get into, we get to know each other, but you get that out the way first. And so, also I wanted my message to impact gang culture. You know what I'm saying? I wanted what I had to say to impact individuals like myself, young people that was in these areas that was controlled by gangbanging. I didn't want to preach to the choir, but I wanted to be able to say, you know, I'm one of you, and where I'm gonna go, wherever I end up, you're gonna know that you can end up there too. Whether it's at the top of the game or in a successful situation as a business owner, I came from this, and it's authentic, and I'm not on the outside of this culture. That's why I came in like I came in. I wasn't trying to like be on no super tough guy shit, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to be clear that, you know, wherever I take it, I'm not different. I'm exactly the same. I've been through everything you've been through or you're gonna go through as somebody in that culture. When you don't have resources, you in survival mode. You know, so being in survival mode automatically rules out a lot of things, because you don't care about morality, because you don't experience morality. You experience, you know, the need to survive. You don't experience, you know, fairness. You don't experience planning for the future. You just experience my ribs touching. You know what I mean? And it's better me than you. And you know, it's a survival instinct that kick in. So I think once you get out of the survival mode, your morals come back closer to your daily decision making. You start thinking about what's right, what do I believe in? I think that economics is the answer. Empowering people economically is how you really, really impact. It's about impacting culture in a way that, you know, the mentality changes. I think like you get people out of survival mode, they start thinking different. I did, you know, when I figured out, you know, how to get myself out of the situation, my approach to life and people was different. I wasn't so angry, I didn't have my guard up. I wasn't so aggressive, I wasn't so, you know, expecting, if you ain't helping me, fuck you. That wasn't the mentality no more. You just gotta kind of empathize with the scenario and understand you put a person in survival mode, they're gonna survive by any means.